And throughout the day, we'll talk about fertilizing strategies, some hunting strategy around the deer on these farms, and some of the spots I'm thinking about, as well as some camera placement strategies. There she is. Looks pretty open. Let's put this camera out. I just want to put it back where I had it last year. I think that's what I'll do. When Abby, I mean, that stands like every bit of 35 foot, and it may not look like it from up here, but it drops down the hill, but I have to use like 9 sticks to get Abby up there versus like 6 for me, so. It's like, if you guys ever see my tree stand, you're like, why does he need so many steps to get in? It's because I think about my wife when I try to do this. Instead of like trying to hoist her up with the lifeline, I try to let her climb herself. She's like 5'1", so it's a little different than 6'3". Well, here we are at the CRP farm. Main goal today, get fertilized and get some cameras adjusted. Abby and I put out a couple the other day, and I mean, when we got here, we were just ecstatic. You know, the plots looked great. We started up at the shop plot today as far as fertilizing. That plot is a little thick. I overseeded it intentionally, thinking the thatch, I wouldn't get the greatest seed to soil contact. The amount of rain we got really made those plots come on strong. So all 3 of them look great. Abby and I put a couple cameras out the other day, and I knew I needed to come up and fertilize in a couple days. So here we are. Where we're at right now, it's probably the spot I spent the most time last year, just in this little draw. And this is kind of the pond pinch area. Probably the best spot on the farm to funnel deer down. Probably second best. The best is a little farther down the lane actually, but getting in there is hard, so this is a little bit easier. So the stand over my shoulder, call it the red oak hide, it's pretty up there, but we hunted that a ton last year. Bullwinkle was very active here early in the year. The 4-year-old 10 was active in here. And frankly, pretty much every buck on the farm would pass through here at some point. So it's a great spot. It didn't come together for us last year, but I don't think this stands a failure. I'm gonna leave it right where it's at. And yeah, just got the camera put up here to start getting some intel. We're gonna do a card pull today too, so that'll be at the end of the video. We're hoping to make it over to the Sherman Farm today, get a couple cameras out over there as well as the plots fertilized. And throughout the day, we'll talk about fertilizing strategies, some hunting strategy around the deer on these farms, and some of the spots I'm thinking about, as well as some camera placement strategies. Like I said, this spot right here specifically, great spot to hunt, great spot for a camera. So basically you've got a pond that pinches everything up on the east side. You've got a bunch of honeysuckle back here on the hill that deer really don't want to walk through. There's one main trail that wraps the edge of the pond, and then there's another trail that comes in on this side. So you've got the main lane here in the middle and 2 main trails that kind of funnel in here, and you've got bedding all along the strip. Great spot for deer to cruise, great spot in the early season. It's nice and cool down here. It's probably 10, 15 degrees cooler today. It's like 87 out, but it feels like it's 75 down here. So we are gonna get back to the truck and move on to the oak plot up the hill here. We're gonna go the long way around because I gotta get some fertilizer, but other than that, we're gonna hammer down. 0.29, so 1 bag should be fine for that. I am using U-Flex, that's stabilized urea. And the only difference really is it's coated, so it doesn't evaporate into the environment. It's a little more expensive, but with nitrogen, you want 100 pounds an acre, right? So a 50-pound bag contains, it's 4600. So it is 23 pounds of nitrogen per 50-pound bag. So at an acre, that'll get you 92 pounds. And that's pretty close to 100. That's what I do. So with a quarter-acre plot, we need one bag to do 100 pounds an acre. So we're gonna throw that on our shoulder, grab the home camera, because I'll probably set that out over here. I don't have any cameras on the north side, but we'll kind of get to that later. All right, Blake, I've got everything except the cedar. I need you to get that. Actually, I can probably get that too. JK, you can get the cedar. I'm gonna get this fertilized. This is a plot I'm really excited about. It sits in the center of the farm. Like, I think it's just like any of the waterways that the deer cruise up, this ditch, like it all just kind of filters into this area. And you're kind of hunting the same movement that you would on the ditch. You're just hoping to entice them up, feeding through this green plot on the way of the corn. So that's the goal. All these plots are set up as like green to grain transitions. So it's pretty easy to do that when 75% of the farm is corn. So. And we'll keep this here till we get the scrapes going. This is a plot we did no huddle in, and I mean, it looks fantastic. I mean, you can see this is cockaburs, but you can see all the turnips right here. There's a pile of radishes in here. These are radishes with those little beveled leaves like that. And then in some spots you can see the clover coming up. You've got your winter wheat or oats or rye, whatever that is. And yeah, then you can see the clovers coming up right here. They're red clover and they have a white clover in there. These are probably reds since they're coming up so fast. But I mean, you just think about, I mean, this is a lot better populated than the other plot. It's a little thick in a couple spots, specifically on the corners where I'm turning around, but it looks pretty awesome. This is the first time I've done no huddle, and I don't know, results speak for themselves. All these plots look fantastic. I could not be happier. I could not be happier. Grab a drink and then we'll pull these SD cards. All right, so Blake is gonna stay at the truck. He's gonna fly the drone. He's handing me a bag of fertilizer now. And then I'm gonna go up, seed this last plot just over here over my shoulder. Seed, fertilize this last plot. And just throw it on my shoulder if you can. Thanks. Appreciate it. So we're gonna do that. He's gonna fly the drone. I'm gonna pull the last card up here. And then we're gonna be done on this farm today and see what time I get home, see what the rest of the day holds. Scrape bench. Somebody took it off of there. So, well, it's right there on my scrape tree. Hopefully we got a big buck on camera. All right, well, that's a wrap for the CRP farm. I'll have a couple more cameras to get out here, and then, I mean, we're pretty much ready for hunting season. Outside moving a couple tree stands, which we'll get to as soon as we get cameras out everywhere. It is right now about 5:47, so let's see, get home about 6:30 if we leave now. We could get over to the Sherman Farm today yet, so We are at the Sherman Farm, so we actually did decide to come in here and kind of blazed a little trail to get my truck back here. And we're gonna go check the inside corner plot that I'm calling it. And we're gonna be checking plots, fertilizing plots, and putting out some new cameras. So when I talked about earlier in the episode, talking about camera locations, this is where the majority of that information is gonna be. So Blake, I see green. I see green. Makes me happy. That's a waterway down there, so we're just gonna stay out of that. We'll stick to the edge. I'm happy. This makes me happy. It is very rewarding to see like all this work come through, you know, and very thankful to the landowner to give me the opportunity to do all this stuff. I mean, without him, the ability to do this isn't here, obviously. So looks like we got some turnip action. Definitely got some weeds up here. Yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Let's get out and take a look. They're coming up great. Man, you can see I kind of stopped the brassica plot there, and then this is going to be a path of straight cereal grains right here that runs up the edge, and we'll put them in early September, have tender green shoots, and hopefully walk them right underneath of the tree stand. So that is the plan. I did not talk about that when I was in here last time. So, but man, it looks awesome. Heck yeah. A couple bags of fertilizer, and we'll move on to the next spot and put a couple cameras out there. Free spot, buddy. I need to get my tree stand in that red oak ASAP. Let's get a couple cameras out. All right, so let's talk about this camera placement. All right, Blake was just talking about there's a lot of good trails that come off and come into this corner from the field, and that's great. Like, great thing to recognize. But for me, there's a fence gap in the corner where everything pinches down along that creek in between the two fields, and that seems to be like the highest level of getting your most deer coming in and out. Here in a month or so, I'll probably switch to this oak right here, and I really could today, but I think I'll get more pictures of deer. And one of the things with this farm, I'm not hunting it, trying to figure out how to deer utilize it, not necessarily just the bucks by putting them on scrapes. So that's how we're going to run our cameras over the next month, and then around September 15th, we'll start switching them to scrapes and everything, put in some scrape posts in the plots. And this oak, actually, that I'm talking about putting a scrape on, is the tree that I think I will hunt out of, as I talked about. So I broke down this spot on the first chase video we did this year. So we'll link that video in here, and if you guys want to watch that and see that, check it out. Yes, sir. I mean, well, hell. Maybe I should put it here now. Yeah, sorry. So look, I mean, the best laid plans, that's what they call it. But when I've got a scrape that's pawed open on the food plot, I'm putting the camera there. So maybe, I think if we wanted to, we could put 2 cameras on this plot, but I don't think for today we're going to. But that's pretty cool. It's called scouting. Paw marks in it and everything. I love that. That gets you fired up, buddy. Might even move it back just a hair. I'm telling you. Let's go. And then we'll get the other camera set up. We'll talk about that spot here in a second. So this is just a little cut that comes off the cornfield. And I actually found a shed right here, a small one. Little things you can look for, like we talked about the fence gap on that other side. This is an inside corner to a cornfield. It's not as brushy as what's over here that goes down into this little draw along the creek. So they naturally funnel through here and then down to the creek or down the hill into this creek bottom. So good spot. I like it. Let's get a camera in here. Blake just asked me where our next camera is going. So I am looking on here and it looks like that's the gate. Okay, we got debris. That's the fence gap that leads into that little poor man's plot. So we'll probably go there next. That should do us for tonight. And then we can put the rest of the cameras out sometime this week, this weekend. And we'll go from there. Let me guys know if, let me know if you guys want me to do a chase video on my fantasy football draft this Saturday. I'm not saying trying to brag, but I'm the only repeat winner in our group, so at the boys. Gosh, I knew that spot would be money coming out of that plum thicket. Don't you just love it when you see stuff like that? Like, come on. Heck yeah, it worked out good. They're not quite as far along. And for me, I like them to be a little bit bigger before I fertilize. So we'll come back in a couple days. But you can see it's definitely a lot more thatch, but there's enough here to make something. It's first year food plot for broadcasting and spraying the same day. Talk about efficiency. Let's go put some more cameras out. We're running out of daylight. So Blake, what I like about this spot specifically, you know, got this big gap and I mean, there was a huge trail coming through there in shed season, and when you look at this whole hedgerow, it's just, there's not many places to cross. This is probably one of the places they all get funneled to. And additionally, we've got this little sort of down section of fence here. So I think you're gonna get deer crossing from north and south and east-west. So put a little food plot here, and ideally I think a blind is gonna be the best way to hunt it. I still maintain that I can hunt out of that tree. And we might try it, see how it works if we have a deer in the area, but I think for tonight, we're just gonna put the home camera up here. Arm that thing. All right. Khaleesi girl, little Klondike. My friendly girl, my sweet girl. Hot girly. I know. Yeah, I like cats, if you guys didn't tell. Khaleesi, she's a little different. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan. All right, first card. So this is just a card pull from the CRP farm. These cameras have only been out for a couple days, but hey, you never know, right? Like I said, that locust scrape was all torn up, so. That's about all I got for today. It's about 9 o'clock. Got a lot of work done today. A lot of things need to be done. I'm excited to see what starts rolling in on the cameras on these farms. Pretty cool to find an active scrape like that already this year that's actually blown open and kicked open. So it is August 20th. It's just gonna be ramping up as we go on. We have more cameras to get out on that Sherman Farm, a couple more to get out on the main farm, and I think maybe 1 or 2 on the CRP farm. Otter farm, you know, gotta go out there and do mock scrapes, and then the rest of it's just tree stand work, but we'll see what's been showing up. Still just that 3-year-old that's on the Otter farm, and then there's been some decent bucks on the main farm, but we just got the full Cuddy Link system running and solar panels installed, so throughout the next couple days and weeks we'll be able to get more pictures in there. I think like early September is when the bucks really started to show up last year, so excited to see what's showing up, and we will keep at it and keep you informed on the chase video. So hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we will talk at you next time.